Welcome to the second season of the Resilient Tourism Podcast. This time, we've invited world-renowned digital tourism experts to share their views and encourage everyone to participate in the data-driven digital transformation of the travel sector. This podcast is created with the support of the Innosuisse-funded flagship Resilient Tourism and is produced by EHL Hospitality Business School. Enjoy!
So, good morning to all of you. I am excited to host this episode today. I am Amélie, and I have the pleasure to get to know and talk to Dolores Ordoñez, expert in digital transformation and smart destination. Hi, Dolores. How are you today?
Hi, Amélie. Thank you so much. Very well.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Listen, you have quite a large background in the field of digital transformation and also in different fields. So I would love to hear more about you, and I will directly ask you to introduce yourself to me and to the listeners so we can get to know you better.
Okay, thank you. A pleasure. So I'm Dolores Ordoñez. I'm the director of Innosuisse. Innosuisse is a company located in Mallorca, in the Balearic Islands, Spain. I'm working in the field of tourism, digital transformation, smart cities, smart destinations. So trying to generate synergies among different sectors. And in the company, we have two main departments. So one related with engineering, in which we develop our data-driven platform. And in the other way, we work also with the DMOs, with the destinations, working in their tourism strategies and also participating in different European projects. I'm also the vice president of the cluster of technologies applied to tourism, Touristech, and I'm the vice president of the national hub of Gaia X, being the responsible of the tourism vertical for Spain and also for Europe. And I'm being also elected as president of Planetic, which is the technological platform for the dissemination of the information and communication technologies at national level, which is a technological platform that depends directly of our ministry.
Super. That's a large background and many activities that are all in synergy, I guess. We used to start this podcast by asking one icebreaking question. And this question is, can you tell us something unexpected about you that makes you proud?
Okay, well, it's very personal, but I think I can say that I'm the proud auntie of three awesome children. And I think this makes me very proud and very happy.
This theme of children and or kids is very common in this question. I think this is something that makes you proud.
Yeah, the next generations. So we have to work for them. Yeah,
absolutely. I understand. Okay, so let's jump into the topic of the podcast now. Our first question is to introduce the topic. And I would like to know your definition, your own definition of the digital transformation in the travel and tourism sector. And why does it matter for everyone that is part of it?
Well, for me, digital transformation is a journey. We really need to understand which are the needs related to this digitalization. So because we are in a period in which everybody is speaking about technologies, and technologies are constantly changing. So we are in a world that is evolving all the time. But for the companies, for the entities, it's very interesting and very important to understand which are those technologies. And at the end of the day, which are the ones that are going to solve the problems that they have. So it is not just a matter to buy technologies because this is the last trend, but to understand what are the technologies for and how these technologies have a direct application in our day-to-day to facilitate our lives, to improve our processes, to generate a lot of efficiencies, reduce the cost of the resources. So I think it's very important to understand all these technologies and also how are going to be applied for the travel industry. So we have in the tourism, we have to take into account how complex is the tourism industry. We have such an amount of different actors from the very big companies, the big platforms, the tour operators, to the very small SMEs. And we have to take into account all of them when we are speaking about the travel stakeholders. And also, how are we going to involve them in this digital transformation process? Because we really need to make that all of them benefit from the use of these digital technologies that are going to facilitate also their day-to-day life and also are going to avoid to leave anyone behind. So that's why the travel sector is composed by a huge number of SMEs. In Spain, is 85% of the business ecosystem, and we really need to have them into account.
Perfect. This is a great introduction on the topic. And I think that we can also approach the topic by talking about data. And I know you've been involved in many projects related to data, and especially one big one in Europe. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about the use of data and why is it necessary to accelerate this transition towards the datafication and the use of data for these SMEs, for the tourism industry?
Yeah, well, there is a sentence with which we are speaking about data is the petrol of the new century. So I don't like the word petrol because we have to be more sustainable. But at the end of the day, we really consider that data is going to be the tool, or is going to be the mechanisms that we are going to use to improve decision makings. So nowadays we are taking decisions based on feelings. And this makes that we can consider, the phenomenon of tourism, or we can consider the phenomenon of sustainability, or we can think that we are doing the things in the right way and not. So we cannot improve what we cannot measure. So data has a very important role in taking these measurements. So in order to have a clear objective that we want to follow and to be able to measure how we are advancing towards these objectives and to tell with very clear and real data if we are going or not in the right way. But at the same time, that is fundamental also to know if we are generating or managing correctly all the resources. So we really need to know what is feasible at the level of a territory. We are now with a lot of discussions about the human pressure on the territories, the consumption of water, energy, or whatever. So it is very important to start having real data to improve the management. But at the same time, we are speaking about tourism. And in tourism, most of the data is related also with personal data. And here we have this controversy because on one side, we want to develop the really personalized tourism experience. So if we want really to personalize the tourism experience, we really need data on the tourists in order to offer them the tourism experience that they are looking for. But on the other way, we have to be aware about the concept that the European Commission is promoting now, which is the data sovereignty, and also to be compliant with the general regulation of data protection. So it is very important to generate these balances and also to make the people aware about what is going to be done with this data. So now there are, that data has been also evolving a lot. So we started with the concept of big data. So we had this huge amount of data started to be analyzed. So we found then all the problems of processing this huge amount of data. But now the new concept are data spaces, because it is not just a matter to centralize all the information in a common place, which will generate a lot of problems related to the storage, but also cybersecurity and a lot of issues. But how can we decentralize the use of data and at the same time to generate more synergies, links between the different entities that are working in the tourism value chain? And this is the concept of data spaces. So in data spaces, the entities are sharing data based in common agreements. And this is something that it is being worked at the level of the European Commission. You know that we have now a lot of legislation on that. And also we are trying also to put in place some use cases to demonstrate how data spaces can help to the use of data in the tourism value chain.
Amazing. And can you tell us a little bit more about these projects you're doing, the use cases you're developing, and overall everything about the DATES project that we should know about?
Okay, so this project is a CSA, so it's a coordination and support action. It has been a very important project at the level of the European Commission because we were setting the basis on how the European tourism data space should look like. So when this project was launched, the European Commission approved indeed two proposals. So we have dates and we have data space for tourism, which we are working in synergy, and we are completely coordinated because at the end we have to produce a common blueprint and a common roadmap to establish how the common European tourism data space should be created. What we have done is to map what is going on in the data sharing economy in tourism. So we map more than 200 initiatives, not only in the European Union, but also in other countries out of the European Union, because what we wanted is really to understand why different entities are sharing data and which are the benefits of the data sharing initiatives. There are different levels. So you know that in some cases are just observatories, or there are big platforms. And so we try to analyze what are the basis of this data sharing. And then we started working on what we call all the building blocks. And these building blocks are, of course, the technical specifications. And now there are a lot of things going on with which should be the architecture. So the simple call has just been released. We have also all the connectors, and there are some connectors that are being developed and now trying to put in practice to demonstrate how efficient they are working in different data spaces. But then what we consider that is more important for tourism are two main aspects. On one side is the governance. So we really need to understand which is the role of the different actors of the tourism value chain in the tourism data space, how these actors are going to interact, how are we going to help them to be compliant with all the laws and regulations that exist, not only at European level, but also at national, regional level, because the competences on tourism are different from one country to another. And then which are going to be the agreements that the different entities are going to fulfill in order to share the data in more or less equal conditions, because you know that we mentioned that we have the big players and we have the very small players, and we really need to ensure that the agreement that they are going to sign doesn't benefit to only one side, but benefit the both sides of the agreement, the both or more sides of the agreement. And then the other important part in which we are working are the new business models. So it is very clear to demonstrate which are the benefits of sharing data, why the entities should share data. And at the beginning, everybody was thinking, okay, we have a huge amount of data, so we are going to sell it. But the monetization of data is not just the matter of selling data. So there are a lot of new business models that are related to generate efficiencies, to reduce cost. So there are a lot of things going on, and also different typologies of new business models that we are trying to analyze, to understand, and also to include in our final blueprint in order that all the European entities can benefit from all this knowledge that we are gathering at the level of the European Union.
This is very interesting, and I think that we can learn a lot about what you're doing in the DATES project at the European Union level, while we are doing our own project in our small little country here in Switzerland. Is there any challenge you've been already encountered that we should take into account while developing our project? And is there any recommendation you would like to share with us?
Well, there are still a lot of challenges. So on one side, we have to create a framework of trust. So we really need to support all the entities in knowing which are the benefits of the data that they have. So we are seeing that even the big companies that are managing a huge amount of data, they don't know exactly what to do with all the data that they have. So we are also trying to help them to understand which is the value of this data and how they can increase the value of this data by sharing this data with other entities. We are also trying to generate agreements among different parts in which the territory should be included. because we are discussing on many issues and it is not only a matter of new business, which is very important, but there is a special issue which is sustainability. So now every day we have our tourists, and our tourists are every day more aware about the importance of sustainability. So when they go to a destination, they really want to know which is the carbon footprint, which is the water usage, which is how the waste is being managed. So, all the issues related with the plastic management and so on. So if we don't change data among the different actors that have a role in these value chains, we are not going to be able to have an overall picture on what's happening there. So this is a challenge to make the people understood what is the importance of data and how this data can be changed. And then everybody's saying that technology is there. So indeed, we have been working on the different infrastructures to understand which are the technical specifications of data spaces. But it's not just that the technology is there, but how this technology is going to be adopted by all the entities. And to understand that sharing data is not just a matter of taking a connector and including it in our databases. But first, we have to make a previous work to understand how our databases are organized, which is the data that we really want to share and which not, because it's part of our confidentiality, it's part of our core business or wherever. So we really need to continue working with examples, and also we really need to continue working in generating awareness about the importance of the data sharing economy.
These are great recommendations, and I think you're already touching upon many questions that I was going to ask you, because you talked about business models, you talked about sustainability. So it's great because it shows that it's all connected, and that we cannot talk about data without mentioning all of these topics as well. I would like to ask you a little bit about the human aspect of tourism, because we always talk about data, digital transformation, technology. And when we compare it to traveling, traveling is all about the personal experience you have. Like when you go to a destination, you want to have the human touch, human contact. And so how do you see the two different aspects? So going technology and also keeping this really traditional industry with the fact of traveling. Do you see any conflict between these two directions?
So for us, it's very important to have a human-centric approach. So at the end, we are always mentioning that tourism is the industry of happiness. So we all are waiting for our period in the year in which we are going to go on holidays, to be with our friends and family, and to rest and to disconnect from our day-to-day work. So tourism has a very important component in our day-to-day. So we really need to be able, as part of the tourism industry, to contribute to this happiness, to this relax, because it's a way also to improve the quality of life of people. So related with the business and related with the tourism experience, how this tourism experience is offered to people, we really need to generate balances. So I think in life, everything is about balances. So on one side, technologies can help to make the tourism experience more interesting or more insightful, because we are going to receive a lot of information. So it's going to facilitate our tourism experience with the seamless travel, because we are going to have all the information related to our travel in our mobile, and we are going to be informed on what's going on in a destination. But tourism is also a matter of generate curiosity. We want to learn, we want to discover. So if everything is in our device, we are not going to have this capacity to generate this curiosity and surprise to our clients. And what we want as a tourism destination is that the people come back again. It's not just come once very fast and you go and you don't come back because you have to visit hundreds of destinations. But we want the people come to destination, enjoy the destination, learn about the local culture. They have the possibility to test the local products. They have a kind of interaction with the locals in order to know what's happening on how they can discover in this destination. So I think it's very interesting to have the technologies in order to help as much as we can in our destination. But at the same time, I like very much the human factor, and still tourism is a matter of interaction with other people. So we are traveling to a destination because we want to discover something new, or we want to relax, but in a different place, because if not, we're staying at home. So we really need to continue with this human factor from the two sides, the tourist in the center, but at the same time, the locals, the local community that are going to be open to show what are the characteristics of this destination. And I think this is very nice. This human interaction that tourism produce, it's very important, and technology can facilitate, but it cannot eliminate. Yeah,
absolutely. This is very interesting, and I agree with you. I think technology should always be here to support, but never replace this human exchange we will have. Because at the end of the day, even if we are now creating all these virtual reality experiences, I don't think it will ever replace, the actual experience we can have on the destination. And actually, this is what we are trying to promote. It's not to replace any of these exchanges.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I would like to focus a little bit more about the future.
Okay.
And we often say, and this is why also our project is called Resilient Tourism. We often say that data can help us to be more resilient to our future crisis, for instance. What do you think about this statement?
Well, I think if we are able to have data in real time that help us to connect everybody and to inform on what's happening, it's easier to take the better decisions. So if we know if there is a fire or a flood of COVID, and we can get this information in real time, and this information has been contrasted in different countries at different levels, and we generate this collective intelligence, because at the end this is a way to exchange all this data and what's working in one place or another. How can people can be helped in different risky situations? I think data is playing an impressive role. So what is important is to ensure that all this data is managed by neutral entities in order to avoid also, the fakes, to avoid information that is not real or is not true. So we really need to be sure, and that's why cybersecurity is so important, and to be ensure that all the data will be protected. But when a risk situation or a crisis is happening, if we are able to have all data in real time, and we can contact directly the people to say them, this is happening now, stay at home or go here, or if you are in a trouble, please let us know. And we can have this easy contact, and to facilitate the connection, I think we can solve a lot of problems. And this is not happening nowadays. So we can receive some information. Sometimes we receive information from the news or from the radio, or we have in the social networks. But sometimes we are not so convinced that all this information that we are receiving is the right one. So that's why I think we really need this neutral authority that is helping to understand what's going on and offering the real information that can help us to understand what's happening, to take the best decisions for our life and for the people that is surrounding us.
This is very interesting because it's also connected to the sustainable development of tourism, because, of course, all these crises, especially the climate disasters, can have real impacts on a tourism destination. But we also know that tourism also contributes to this climate change, for instance, and to the sustainable development of tourism. How do you see data helping in mitigating a bit this impact in sustainability?
Well, what we are saying always is that it is very important for the tourists to understand to which destination are they going. So I think a very important part of the generating awareness is to know what's happening in the region to which you are traveling. So if you know that you are traveling to a region in which there is no water, in which there is a problem with waste management, in which you know that there are air pollution or whatever, and you are a person that in your country, in your house, you are aware about all these things. When you go to this destination and you are at the hotel, you reduce the water consumption. You reduce the time in which you are in the shower. You don't leave the tap open when you go out from your room. You try to reduce the amount of waste that you are producing, or you are trying not to leave it in places that perhaps is quite difficult to be gathered. So at the end, I think that data makes us understand what's happening in a destination. And so that's why this data should be informed and should be communicated in a nice way to the tourists when they are traveling to a place, to understand also how they can contribute to this new regenerative tourism. Because if we want to continue traveling, if we want to continue enjoying the incredible places that we have worldwide, we have to take into account that there are some places that are very fragile. So we really need to try to reduce massification in some areas. Perhaps data can help us to say, okay, we have already reached the number of people that can visit this place this day. And there is a limitation in the number of people visiting the places. And with data, okay, you receive all the recommendations. So today is fully booked. So you can book for tomorrow. Avoid queuing, avoid a lot of people going to the same place the same day at the same hour. So technology can do a lot of things. And data is fundamental. First, to understand which are the capacity limits of the destinations. So we really need to know or to fix, and this is the scientific community that has to define which are the limits of the destinations in terms of the quantity of people that can be in a territory, or the amount of water that can be consumed, of whatever, and the mobility, which are the big issues that now in the tourism destination. But on the other hand, we also need this information to tell to the people which are the other possibilities. So you will not able to go to this place today, but we recommend you this other place. So there are a lot of technologies and data that is going on now. And what it's important is to know how we are contributing to the sustainability of the destination, because at the end, the world is very small and we are all in the same world. So the effects that we are causing to a territory at the end is going to come back to us. So we really need to be aware on which are the impacts that we are generating to the sustainability of our environment. And we have to try to help to reduce these impacts. I think travel and tourism, it's a great industry. So it's now the time to see how this movement of people from one side to another can contribute to make the world more sustainable.
Perfect. This is a great way to go towards the end of this episode, and this leads me to my very last question, and this is related to the future of tourism. I would like you to project yourself in 2040, for instance, so okay. 15 years from now. How do you see the travel sector globally, but also European level? Also, thanks to these multiple data initiatives, what will they contribute to the future of tourism, and how will it be?
Well, I hope that in 2040, we're going to be able to know what's going on at the level of each destination. So in terms of sustainability, in terms of data. So I really see the data flowing from one entity to another. and to generating new business models based on this data. And thanks to this exchange of data, we can generate better tourism experience, because tourism is an industry that wants to surprise us all the time. So technology is there just to help to generate this surprise to the people and to generate this interest in the destinations. So I really think that technology will advance to a point in which the flow of data will be easier from one entity to another. I hope that also the SMEs will be included in these new trends, and they will be an important part of this data economy in which the data will be flowing from one side to another. And I really hope that we will be more aware about the incredible places that we have worldwide, and we will have this resilience and regenerative tourism as one of the important issues when we decide where to go for our holidays.
That's a very nice way to conclude this podcast. Listen, Dolores, do you have anything you would like to share as a conclusion?
Well, I think that you mentioned that you are working in your project. We're working also in this project at the level of the European Union. What is important is to generate synergies. So I'm very grateful that we are in contact now, because every day we are learning. So each country is different, each region is different, each destination is different. But learning from another, we can really help to understand which is the importance of this data economy, and also to help them to be more sustainable. So I think it's very important to be in contact, to exchange, and generate synergies about the different projects that we are implementing.
And we will do, because we are now in contact, and it's only the beginning of our project. So for sure, we will still have some years to collaborate, and it's going to be super exciting, I think.
Great.
It's been great to talk to you today and getting to know you better, and also to learn about the DATES project, the European initiatives, and get some external perspective on our project. So I would like to thank you very much for your time, for talking in our podcast. And it's been great to meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please spread the word and share it with your colleagues, friends, and family. To make sure you don't miss the latest episodes, subscribe to our channel.